what's going on, guys? This is K4 Bowling, back with another video. And today, as you can see by the title, I'm on my computer, and we are going to be talking about the PBA draft and what went down. It was this Sunday. I was working, so I wasn't able to attend or watch it live. But now I'm going to react of what I think happened and what I think will happen throughout the season. So some of you might be wondering who I'm going to be rooting for and what my team is. Now, it's the team that's closest to where I live, so it's one of the new expansion teams, and that would be the Brew City Ballers. So they got Marshall Holman as their manager, and I'll cover the drafting and how it all worked. But I think we're going to have a pretty good squad, and I hope we win the Elias Cup this year. Okay, so I had to go away to show you guys the entirety of the draft board. So pretty much, as you can see, I've got all the teams listed on the left, and then the managers, and then the protected picks for the current eight teams that were originally there, and then the two new teams got picks in all 5 rounds, and then only 2 picks for obviously the other 8 teams. So just looking through this and what I think kind of went down, I thought for sure Sean Rash was going to be the first pick overall. I know Francois Lavoie is an outstanding bowler as well. I mean, all these guys on the tour are amazing bowlers. They deserve to be there. But I thought Sean Rash was for sure going to land in the first round. But I'm glad that the Brew City Ballers were able to pick him up. But first, let's go. I'm going to go over all of the teams a little later, so I'm not going to go through every single pick and everything, but I'm going to go through things that kind of surprised me, things like that. So first of all, so Sean Rash, first of all, that was the main thing. And then, so a pick that surprised me was probably in the 5th round, Ildemaro Ruiz. Probably because I thought for sure Michael Tang, Darren Tang's brother, was going to get picked as well. Because these are all fantastic bowlers, as I've said before. But I thought for sure he was gonna go. And if any of you follow Brad and Kyle, the YouTube channel, I'll link their channel in the description since I mentioned them. But I thought it was kind of funny that the Kingpins passed up on Brad Miller, where they already had Kyle Sherman. That would have been so awesome to see them together on the team. But the Dallas Strikers were able to pick him up then, which I thought was a pretty good move. Other than that, this is just the draft board if you want to come back to it at all to see what went down. But that's pretty much it for the draft board. Okay, so now in this section, I will be going through each team and showing you each player and what my prediction is of how they'll be listed 1 through 5 of, where they're going to be bowling in what frame. So to start things off, we have Las Vegas High Rollers. So we have Johnson, Ildemaro, Teese, Anderson, and Lavoie. Now for this team, I have obviously their first pick in the draft, which was Frankie. So I'm going to put him number 5. Yet I think Anderson also could be 5, and he's also expressed how he likes to be in that spot. So I feel like those two could be switched. I think AJ Johnson is a good guy to have in the number 1 spot, pretty much because he'll get a good strike for you early on, and he's going to bring confidence and high morale to the team. All right, and then moving on to the Brew City Ballers. So this is obviously my team, as I've said. So we've got Dick Allen, Zeke, Sloan, Simonelli, and Rash. Now, I thought Rash was going to go on the first spot, and we were able to pick him up. Now, I think that's going to give him a reason to come out to try to win with this new team right off the bat. So I think he's going to be a really good anchor for the team. But if the right side isn't playing well, I feel like Simonelli on the left can get things done as well. So that's who I've got. And Dick Allen, I feel like, can also go 4 and 5. This is just my prediction. So that's what I've got for them. The Hitmen, Philadelphia Hitmen. So we've got Smallwood, Sterner, Ogle, Sean Minaldo, and Don Barrett. So now for this team, I don't know much about a lot of them. So I just kind of put what I thought and based on how they protected their picks. So I think they protected Barrett, Minaldo, and Smallwood. So I kind of put them in the spots I thought would help their team, but also how they were protected. As you notice, 2 and 3 more is where I'm putting the newer draft picks. Because number 2 is a good place to put them to get their feet wet. Because number 1, you want a strong bowler so you can get a quick strike and get out ahead. Also, just to be in that spot for your team to give them high morale. So that's the lineup I've got. Not a lot to say about the team, though. We'll see how they perform. Now we got the Brooklyn Styles. We got Larson, Walter Ray Williams Jr., BJ Moore, Brad Angelo, and Rhino Page. Now, again, we have a lefty that is in the 5th spot. So if the left is doing really well, I think he's going to perform well. But if he's struggling over there on the left, you could probably put in BJ Moore or Brad Angelo in the 5th spot and have them anchor. So that's what I'm thinking for that. They also got Walter Ray Williams Jr. on their team, the legend. So I think they're going to be a pretty decent squad, but we'll see how it all turns out. I'm not too confident in them. I feel like they need another bowler that just hits the pins hard, hits them, strikes a lot. But I mean, they're all really good bowlers, so we'll see how it turns out. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see. And then Motown Muscle, we got Mitch Hupe, Matt McNeil, Josh Blanchard, Anthony Simonson, EJ Tackett. So now this is where I was struggling a little bit to put their picks because I know they say they protected Blanchard, Simonson, and Tackett. Now I put them 3, 4, 5. I didn't do that for the previous 4 teams. I put one of them on 1. But for this team, I feel like you could have any of those bowlers in the 5 spot. So therefore, I think they should be 3, 4, 5. EJ Tackett, Simonson, obviously, making a lot of shows. So I feel like they would be a good fit under the lights. Hupe, I think he was in the league before, so I feel like he'd be a good fit. I'm not sure if McNeil was, so that's why I put him in the 2, but we'll see how that turns out. All right, I'll be right back for the next few picks. Alrighty, we're back for the second half of this list. So now let's move on to the Silver Lake Adams splitters. So we got Daugherty, Villa, Chapman, Barnes, Stevenson. So Jesper, probably one of the best left two-handers out there. So he's no question what I would be put for number 5. But there's also Barnes and Chapman, which I think could also go there. Well, probably Barnes more than Chapman. If Chapman's doing really well, I feel like he's in a good spot to bowl there. I feel like Daugherty and Chapman could switch, and Chris Barnes and Stevenson could switch based on the day. And because Chapman and Daugherty, I feel like they would really give them good motivation. So that's what I'm thinking for that team. The Kingpins. So they have Pete Weber, Osku, Darren Tang, Marshall Kent, Kyle Sherman. So now for this team, Kyle Sherman has bowled anchor on the PBA league before, and he actually won a game. He had a strike to win a game, and he did. So he's got experience in the 5th spot. I feel like Kent can also go there, depending on ball reaction. Once again, that's a big component. But they also got Pete Weber, like a legend, on their team. So I feel like they're going to have a pretty good squad that it's going to be looking out for. And then we've got the Dallas Strikers. Brad Miller, Nick Pate, Norm Duke, Bill O'Neill, Tommy Jones. Now they've got Tommy Jones, one of the best anchors in the game. He bowled a 300 in the finals of a tournament. I think he got like an extra $10,000 or something because of it. Pressure doesn't seem to get to him a lot. He's just going out there to throw strikes for his team. So I feel like he's a good player to have an anchor. But if he's not feeling it, they've still got Duke and O'Neal, which have experience to take over as well. I feel like Brad Miller and Nick Pate, they've also been under the lights before, so they know how it all works. Brad Miller has been on the team, so I feel like he'd be a good one to start off because he knows what he's doing with the team. And then also Nick Pate, I think this is his first year part of the league, so I just want to put him in the 2 spots to make sure that he adjusts to it because it's different from singles bowling. All right, and then LAX, we've got Stu, Anthony, Gerard, Buttroff, and Bill Monty. Now, they've got the world's best bowler on the team, the number 1 in the world, Jason Belmonte. And they've got a really good lefty as well, Buttroff. So 4 and 5 is pretty locked in. It's going to be one of those 2 guys, depending on how the lanes are working. Now, can they have 2 good bowlers? I mean, Stu, Anthony, and Gerard, they're all good as well. Yet, I feel like Stu, I haven't seen him a lot in singles events. It's been the Elias Cup that he's been a part of. Patrick and Anthony, I know they've had experience in singles under the lights, so they should be well. They just have to adjust, but I think they'll be all right. So I don't know about this team, though. I don't know what to make of it yet. 4 and 5 were really easy to come by, but to put down, but then 1, 2, and 3, I really didn't know. So we'll see how they turn out. Now the Portland Lumberjacks. They've got Larson, Packy, Malott, Prather, and Troop. Now Prather just came off of the 2019 PBA playoffs win. He was, I think, the 8th seed, and he overcame that and won the thing. So I feel like he could be a 5. Troop, I put 5 mainly because he's got the 2-handed technique, and I have a feeling he will be good to get strikes when the pressure comes to it. Wes Malott, I feel like, could also get the job done. Martin Larson's been around a while, so that's why I have him trust at 1. And Packy, I know he made, I think, a show back in the fall, but I don't think he's ever done anything with the league, PBA league, so that's why I put him in the 2, just so he can adjust. Okay, and that's all I've got. So the next section will be, who do I think the top teams will be? I have to pull down my webcam so I can show you the entire screen. So we'll go over my power rankings now and see who I think is going to win the cup. All right, here we go. We got the power rankings. I'm going to start from 10 and work my way up with my thinking here. So 9 and 10, the Brooklyn Styles and the Philadelphia Hitmen. I really didn't see any, kind of a few players that would click for them to make them a great team. Yes, they're good, but I'm looking at who's going to be the outstanding teams, and I really didn't see it in those 2 teams. And then we've got one of the extension teams, Las Vegas High Rollers. Now, Las Vegas, I feel they didn't draft to what they should have. I still think they're a good team. They've got Francois Lavoie, which if they're able to keep him, which they probably will be a really good addition if they can get some more stars their way. But other than those few teams, the rest are, I think, could win a lot of the games and make the finals. I feel like from NYC all the way to the Dallas Strikers, they could make the finals and potentially win it. Now, we have the Kingpins here. So that team was with Kyle Sherman, Marshall Kent, and here, let me go back to it. Asku, Pete Weber. So this team here, I mean, they've got a lot of good players. I just don't see a player that's going to make them outstanding. Yes, they have Pete Weber, but I don't see really an anchor on this team. Marshall Kent, Kyle Sherman, they could be anchors, yet I don't see a big anchor on their team. Now, LAX, they've got Belmo and Buttroff, so they've got 2 really good bowlers, yet I'm not really sure if those 2 bowlers are enough, if they need some connection pieces to work with their team, but we'll see how it goes. That team still confuses me. But we've got the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Let me go back to that team. All right, we got Doherty, Via, Chapman, Barnes, Stevenson. Now on this team, I don't see a lot of... we've got Jesper, Chris Barnes, so they've got the stars. I'm just not sure if they'll be able to perform as well as the top 4 teams. But now we're getting up there to the teams that really, I think either of these teams could win it, but this is who I've got. So Brew City Ball. Oh wait, I forgot about Motown Muscle. Let's go to the Muscle first. Gotta wait for my team. All right, the Muscle. So they've got EJ Tackett, Simonson, and Blanchard. I believe it's Blanchard. Yep, Blanchard, McNeil, and Hubert. So now with them, I feel like they've got a good anchor, yet, and whoever's going to be in their 4 and their 3 will also be really solid as well. Now they do have Hubert and man, I forgot already. At Hubert and McNeil. Now, they don't have a lot of experience, but if they're able to adjust and gain experience quickly, I feel like they could be a team for a contender. Now, my team, the Brew City Ballers, I feel like we were the better team in the draft for the extension teams. We got the better picks, because I don't know why Las Vegas didn't take Rash. Francois is obviously won 2 U.S. Open, so he's not a bad pick, but I feel like the Brew City Ballers is the better team. They've got Rash, Simonelli. My goodness. They've also got Sloan, Dick Allen. They've got Bate. So I feel like they could be up there. I'm maybe a little biased. Maybe they're around a 5 team. But I'm going to be rooting for them to win the entire thing. Now, the Lumberjacks and Strikers, I could see either one of them taking it all the way. But I'm going to go with the Strikers over the Lumberjacks. Now, the Lumberjacks, let me pull up their team. So, Lumberjacks here, they've got the PBA playoff winner from last year, Prather, Troop, Hanrahan, Larson, and Malott. They've got a lot of good players. I just don't see how they could beat the Strikers, who has one of the best anchors, Tommy Jones, Norm Ducal legend, and Bill O'Neill, along with Brad Miller and Nick Pate, because Brad Miller was also on the Strikers last year, so he is really familiar with the team and how they want to do things. And Nick Pate, I feel like he's going to pull her along really quickly. So that's why I'm taking the Strikers over the Lumberjacks. So that's my prediction. Dow Strikers winning the league. So we'll see if that is true. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this video. Comment down below what you think is going to happen with the PBA League this year. And tell me who you think is going to win. So thank you so much for watching this video once again. Like and subscribe if you are new. And it means so much to me that you're watching. So I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.